It's easy to pick the wrong account and pay more than you need. In the next few minutes, you'll learn a simple way to choose between an HSA and an FSA for 2026. You'll also hear the one situation where the usual favorite is not the best fit. Stay with me. I'll share a quick money example a little later. Quick disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. Here's the plain English setup. An HSA is a health savings account. Money goes in tax deductible. It can grow tax-free. Qualified withdrawals are tax-free. To contribute, you must be on a high deductible health plan, also called an HDHP. A Health FSA is a flexible spending account. You put pre-tax dollars in for qualified medical costs this year. Most FSAs are use it or lose it. Some plans allow a small carryover or a short grace period. Today, we're talking about the Health FSA, not the Dependent Care FSA. Let's mark the 2026 boundaries so we're speaking the same language. For 2026, HSA contribution limits are $4,400 for self-only coverage and $8,750 for family coverage. If you are 55 or older, you can add a $1,000 catch-up. For 2026, an HDHP has a minimum deductible of $1,700 for self-only coverage and $3,400 for family coverage. The maximum out-of-pocket is $8,500 for self-only and $17,000 for family. For Health FSAs in 2026, the employee salary reduction limit is $3,400. If your plan allows a carryover, the most you can carry over is $680. Employer and state rules can differ, so confirm your plan's details. Here's a quick side-by-side so the differences click. An HSA can be the stronger long-term tool if you are on an HDHP, if you expect medical costs over many years, or if you want potential tax-advantaged growth for future care. It can help even more if your employer adds HSA dollars. A Health FSA can be the better near-term tool if you want pre-tax dollars for this year's predictable expenses, and your employer offers helpful features like a carryover or a grace period. Neither account is perfect. They solve different problems. Here's a simple decision flow. Do you have an HDHP? If not, the HSA isn't available, and the FSA may be your main option. If yes, start with any employer HSA contribution, because that's often a valuable first step. Next, estimate your qualified expenses for the year. Set your FSA only to the amount you are confident you will use. After that, if you still have dollars to save, consider adding more to the HSA for the long term. A few basics to avoid surprises. Qualified medical expenses can include doctor visits, prescriptions, many dental and vision items, and other costs listed in official guidance. Some items need a prescription even if they're sold over the counter. Plans differ on what is eligible and how to submit claims. Save your receipts and documents. If your plan gives you a debit card, keep the receipts anyway. If rules or limits change, adjust your contributions next year. If you invest HSA funds, remember that investments can lose value and past performance does not predict future results. Let's walk through scenario A. A single person is on an HDHP and expects about $800 of eligible costs this year. If that person uses a Health FSA and contributes $800 pre-tax dollars, taxable income drops by $800. At a 22% federal bracket, that's about $176 in federal tax savings. State taxes may change the total. The person then uses the FSA during the plan year. If the plan is strict, use it or lose it, and money is left over, the leftover may be forfeited. If the plan has a small carryover or a grace period, that can help, but you still need to track deadlines. Now compare the HSA for the same person. Contributing $800 also lowers taxable income by $800. At the same bracket, the federal tax savings are about $176. But the HSA adds two extra levers. Any unused balance can be invested, and growth can be tax-free for qualified medical costs. You can also pay out-of-pocket now and reimburse yourself later when the rules allow, as long as you keep receipts and the expense happens after the HSA is opened. The trade-offs are clear. You must be on an HDHP, and you need to handle the deductible if large costs arrive early in the year. Here's the one-line takeaway for Scenario A. If you have an HDHP and can handle the deductible, the HSA can be more favorable over time because savings may compound for future medical needs. If you are not on an HDHP or you want a simple this-year budget, the FSA is a practical tool that can reduce taxes on planned costs. Now, Scenario B. A family expects higher predictable costs, braces, regular prescriptions, and a few specialist visits. They plan to spend $2,000 on eligible items this year. With a Health FSA contributing $2,000 pre-tax dollars, drops taxable income by $2,000. At a 22% bracket, that's about $440 in federal tax savings. If their plan includes a carryover or a grace period, it reduces the risk of losing small leftovers. The FSA works best when the family can predict and schedule care inside the plan year. With an HSA, the same $2,000 lowers taxable income by $2,000. The family can spend from the HSA during the year or pay cash and reimburse later if the documentation is complete and the rules allow it. If they invest any unused HSA balance, potential growth can help with future medical costs, including costs in retirement. Employer HSA dollars can tilt the math toward the HSA. The main trade-off is the HDHP's deductible and out-of-pocket structure. Families who expect frequent care early in the year sometimes prefer non-HDHP plans for lower upfront costs, even if the HSA's long-term benefits are attractive. Here's the one-line takeaway for Scenario B. For a family with predictable, planned care this year, a well-designed FSA can be the simpler, near-term fit. For a family comfortable with an HDHP and long-term saving, the HSA's triple tax advantage can create more value over many years. A few real-life details can help. Some employers contribute to your HSA each year. If yours does, learn when those funds are available and if any vesting rules apply. Some employers allow HSA payroll contributions pre-tax. Others allow post-tax HSA contributions that you deduct at tax time. Ask your HR team how your plan handles this. For FSAs, ask whether your plan offers a carryover, a grace period, or neither. Ask how mid-year changes work if your family or job situation changes. Clear answers now can prevent surprises later. Pro tips that prevent common mistakes: keep receipts for every qualified expense. For HSAs, you may reimburse yourself later for qualified expenses if the rules allow and your documentation is solid. For FSAs, enroll carefully and avoid overfunding because unused money may be forfeited. Do not double dip the same expense with multiple accounts or with other reimbursements. Confirm what counts as qualified with your HR team and with official guidance. If you enroll in Medicare, remember that HSA contribution rules change, so confirm eligibility before contributing. Now, 3 quick myths. An HSA is not only for emergencies. It can be a long-term tool for medical saving and investing for qualified costs. FSA money does not always vanish at year-end. Some plans allow a carryover or a grace period, but details vary by employer. You cannot contribute to an HSA unless you are covered by an HSA-eligible HDHP and you meet the other eligibility rules. Let's recap the decision in plain words. If you do not have an HDHP, the FSA may be your main option, and it can still reduce taxes on this year's planned costs. If you have an HDHP, start with any employer HSA dollars. Set your FSA only to the amount you know you will use this year. Then, when you can, put extra into the HSA for the long term. This simple order helps you avoid overfunding an FSA while building an HSA for future needs. Here's the balanced wrap-up. If you have an HDHP and you plan for the long run, an HSA can be more favorable over time. If your employer offers a strong FSA and your costs are predictable this year, an FSA can be the better near-term fit. If this helped, please like the video and subscribe for more.